morning, everyone, and welcome to the channel. My name is Michael for Ford Truck Enthusiast, Mustang Forums, and the Mustang Source. And today I'm going to tell you why the 2021 Mustang Mach 1 is the best 5-liter Mustang ever. Hey guys, Future Michael here with a quick word about safety. You're going to see my daughter, my executive assistant, in the front seat of the Mustang Mach 1 with me. As a reminder, this is a rear seat delete car. It does not have rear seats, which are safest for children. What it does have, and a lot of kind of two-seaters have this, and a lot of other cars have this for other reasons, but the front seat has a sensor built into the seat which can tell the difference between a child in a booster seat that's properly strapped in as she was and an adult. And so what it does is that it tells the computer system to turn the passenger airbag off. This is just a quick plea to please be safe with your children. I would never risk my daughter's life for a car review. Check your local laws, check state laws, and check your owner's manual for how to put any child into any car the exact proper way, okay? Let's get back to the video. I think you're really gonna like it. Let's go ahead and begin with a breakdown of the Mustang lineup as it is available here in the 2021 model year. Entry level, we've got the EcoBoost, then there's the EcoBoost High Performance Pack. Step up to the 5-liter Mustang, which is the GT. Next in the lineup, you have the Mach 1 here. It makes a little bit more power than the GT at 480 horsepower, same amount of torque at 420, because it has the GT350's intake manifold, throttle body, and open airbox intake as well. And then, of course, the top dog for this year is the Shelby GT500, making 760 horsepower from a supercharged 5.2-liter engine. So effectively, the Mach 1 is the special edition naturally aspirated Mustang for this year. It takes the place of the 2020 Mustang GT Performance Pack Level 2, the Bullet, and the Shelby GT350. Mach 1 with a vengeance, y'all! Unique to the Mach 1 is your complete front fascia setup. What you're going to notice is that it's designed for extra cooling and extra airflow. The front grille is reminiscent of the 2013 and 2012 Boss 302s, which have these removable pieces here, little extra opening here in the grills as well. You've also got on both sides in the front extra venting with radiators behind that for added cooling. And you'll find the same thing out back as well. This rear diffuser right here, if you look real close, is that these vents behind there, you're gonna see two radiators in these triangle sections. And what happens is the air comes underneath the bottom of the car, gets sucked up into a couple openings, goes into these radiators, and I believe that these are the radiators for the diff cooler. So you've got more functional cooling out here. Other standard features for the Mach 1 include active valve exhaust, magnetic ride control suspension, and digital gauge cluster. You can get both premium and base level interior trim, the 10-speed auto, the 10R ready. It's an option here for about $1,600, so you can get that if you're more into drag racing, etc., etc. But the real cool thing about the Mach 1 is that it inherited the Shelby GT350's manual transmission, which is a Tremec 6-speed gearbox. It's one of the most fantastic gearboxes that I've ever driven. So smooth, so easy to shift all the way at redline. It's a beautiful transmission. Let's go ahead, you guys, and talk about our particular loaner, which you can see is in the Mach 1 exclusive color of Fighter Jet Gray. And so the base price to get into the Mach 1s before destination delivery is $51,720. This one has $12,425 worth of options and a $1,200 destination delivery, bringing the total price of this one to $65,340. All right, let's talk about what options this has. So this is Equipment Group 700A, which is $1,595. I think that's the one that makes it the premium 10-speed automatic transmission for $1,595. Mach 1 handling package for $3,500. That's going to give you the spoiler that we saw with the gurney flaps. It's going to give you wider tires, 315s in the back, 305s up front. They are Michelin Pilot Sport Cup 2 tires, and you get adjustable strut top mounts. So that is the handling package. This one also has a rear seat delete, which costs $250 extra to have less seats. All right, whatever. $1,295 for the Mustang Mach 1 Elite package. Ooh. Enhanced security system with the wheel locking kit. That is no charge. Thank you, Ford. Mach 1 appearance package, which is only available when you get the Fighter Jet Gray, and I think it's only available when you get the Fighter Jet Gray with the handling package, as it adds the orange striping and it adds the matching orange brake calipers, which look fantastic in these 6-piston Brembos, my friends. Mwah. Recaro seats are another $1,595 option. Voice-activated touchscreen navigation for $595. 50-state emissions, no charge. And $1,000 for your gas guzzler tax, because baby, this thing guzzles gas. I took it up into the mountains while taking some photos and doing that stuff. I went through 8 gallons of gas while romping it and having all sorts of fun. Yeah, gas guzzler, that makes sense. Anyway, again, $65,340. I've done some kind of specking online in the Ford build and price situation. You can definitely get into one of these without the handling pack or without the automatic transmission or without the premium. You can pick and choose what options you want. You can get into one of these for in the mid-50s if you can find one at sticker. Pricing right now is a little crazy because everything in 2021 is still crazy. Overall, I think Ford has absolutely hit it out of the park. I love the way that this Mustang looks. Now, I do prefer the GT350 just a touch more for it having that unique kind of hood and the way the grille is, but this is quickly becoming one of my favorite Mustangs all time visually, and I think it's a terrific descendant for the Boss 302. I love the unique hood. I love that it has more grills and functional grills. I love that the materials match. Like on the GT, this is glossy, but this isn't on the GT. I don't understand why. It looks really weird, but I think this just looks simple, elegant, muscular, and mean. It's low, the fat tires. Overall, I think it's a home run. There are a couple like weird, like, you know, again, we're in a $60,000 car and it's still got Ford quality control, which means that like you'll see like weird panel gaps along the hood lines and stuff. But overall, like the Mach 1 name, the Fighter Jet Gray name, it really fits this thing. It looks like it's flying while it's just sitting in a parking lot, and then you start driving it. And guys, we are 10 years into the Coyote era at this point. Dual overhead cam, 4 valves per cylinder, variable valve timing engine that loves to just rev for the moon. Since the Boss 302 debuted as of 2012, in 2011, that's when they were delivering them, making them, the press reviews, so it's also been 10 years of the Boss 302. We've been revving to 7,500 RPM, and the 3rd generation Coyote, Bullet, and Mach 1 continue that trend. Actually, I think the GT500 also goes to 7,500. But anyway, high revving, dual overhead cam motors that make you feel like you're on a racetrack, even when you're commuting around town. These cars are super special, and the Mach 1 both lives up to the heritage, and it just drives so well and so planted. Thanks to the magnetic ride control, this car can be anything you want it to be. The most time that I spend is between normal, sport, and track. They're all relatively comfortable, but you can just dial it in exactly what you want. Freeway's too rough in sport mode, boop, boop, boop. Normal mode, boom, you're good to go. And you can put the exhaust mode in whichever mode you want, and they go from hard to hear all the way up to probably not be able to drive on places like Laguna Seca, or you could even get a ticket, I would imagine. It's that loud. Although I think the exhaust note is good, but I think it needs a little more bass for my particular tastes. Driving this car, normal day commuting, is very smooth, very comfortable, very relaxing, you know, especially these Recaro seats. These are the Recaro seats that they're kind of newer versions of the one that I have in my Boss. They're not the Shelby ones, which are kind of a little bit more narrow, a little bit more angular. So I really like these Recaros. They're really comfortable. Or even if you don't get those, the standard base seats or the heated and cooled leather are pretty grippy as well. The car just feels special going slow or going fast. And then you get it up into the hills, particularly with this handling package with these wide tires. This thing just feels stuck to the ground. So I've started to do my own kind of collection of real world 0 to 60 times, because it turns out auto manufacturers and other magazines use a 1-foot rollout system, which isn't actually 0 to 60. So I've got a little draggy, and I have been recording my personal runs, which of course I'm not a professional driver or anything like that. It's driver mod. So the best 0 to 60 time I got with this was 4.31 seconds 0 to 60. The magazines, if they got that, they'd report a 4.05 second with the 1-foot rollout. So anyway, I got real world 4.31 seconds. For comparison, my Boss 302 with launch control, it's a manual, I was able to get 4.8 seconds on that, and then the 2021 Mustang GT, which has the bad gearing on the manual transmission, and they also put Pirelli P0 tires on it for some awful reason. They don't hook. Best I was able to get was 5.44 seconds, unfortunately. My point is that this particular configuration with these tires and this transmission, driver mod, is over a second faster to 60 than the 2021 Mustang GT Premium Manual. Now, if you put the better tires on that car, and it also had the 10R80, I bet you the gap would close, but still, this is really quick. Even though it weighs 3,900 pounds with the auto, it's a pretty chunky car, and you can feel that heft when you're driving. But again, in the canyons, it accelerates quickly, goes around corners super smooth, super tight, super planted. You just feel great driving this thing. I can't describe it. It's, oh gosh, what am I trying to say? It just feels so capable. And it makes you feel like a very capable driver. I think Ford did a really fantastic job with this one. Yes, it's coming in behind an iconic car with the Shelby GT350, but it's definitely very, very nimble. Hey man, nice shirt. Looking good. All right, next up, let's talk Mustang comparisons. The reason I keep bringing up the fact that I own a Boss 302 is, one, because I love it, and I can't stop talking about it. My neighbors love it when I talk about it, and my friends, and coworkers, and my wife, and my child. So it's amazing to me how impressive the Boss remains as a driving experience, and it's got this track key functionality where I put in a different key, it's got a different tune, it sounds deeper, it sounds meaner. But my point, though, is just to say, it's amazing how far the Mustangs have come. I think this one still holds up in many ways, but, huge but, the Mach 1 is so objectively superior, the Shelby's as well. You've got the independent rear suspension, magnetic ride control, active valve exhaust, digital gauge cluster. Everything is just so adaptable and adjustable with the flick of a switch or diving into the menus. The Mach 1 is, well, with this transmission, it's certainly faster. It feels more planted. It corners a little bit more dynamically, and it's, of course, smoother, which is kind of the big thing. So I would want to own them both. I think the Boss remains kind of a hidden jewel, so to speak, in the Mustang catalog of the last decade or so. It definitely kind of paved the way for the Mach 1, but it is a rougher ride. It's more kind of, it's got the solid rear axle, so it'll get a little squirrely a little earlier, a little bounce a little bit more. But you know, look, it's got an adjustable suspension as well. It's just, you have to get out a screwdriver and go to all four corners. You can't flip it in traffic when you're coming on a rough road. So as a descendant of this guy, I think the Mach 1 takes over for this one nicely. The torch has been passed at the dealerships, and it is a beautiful torch. Mach 1 versus Shelby GT350. I think the 350 is lighter. I think it's going to be a little bit more nimble. I think the Mach 1 is just really well sorted and handles as well or almost as well. The real thing is going to come down to that engine note. And funny enough, as I was filming the other day, a 350 came by in the same tunnel where I was recording. So here's the GT350. Shelby, baby. And then here's the Mach 1. I think the GT350 is probably a little more special because that engine was super unique, but as a 5.0 variant, I think it's easy to say that the Mach 1 is the best 5.0 ever because the GT350 is 5.2. So get mad, keyboard warriors. No, just kidding. I don't really care. In the future, if we get a chance to do a direct back-to-back comparison, I think that would be fun as well. So hit me up if you've got either a Mach 1 or Shelby in the Los Angeles area. Maybe we can make a video. Ready?
Tunnel.
Set.
Go!
Tunnel test! Wrapping things up with the 2021 Mustang Mach 1 Premium with the handling pack and the visual pack. This is the one with all the options, $65,000. I have honestly not driven a car.
That was this fast.
Well, no, I've driven the GT500, which is even faster than this, but I haven't driven a car that made me want to sell my Boss, and this kind of does. It's so quick.
But no, I want to keep the Boss.
Of course we're gonna keep the Boss. We're just gonna have to get one of these later. With $65,000, you know, like what type of sports car would you buy? Assuming you could actually get your hands on one and there's no ADM or it's not in the used market, you could technically get a 1LT C8 Corvette. You could get an RCF from Lexus. You can go the Camaro route. The 2SS 1LE would probably be up somewhere, not necessarily as high as this though. There's a lot of really good cars in this price range. Is the Mach 1 the absolute best one of the bunch? I have no idea. I haven't driven them all back to back, but I will say that I think for $65,000, I think the C8 Corvette outperforms this in pretty noticeable ways. Smoother to drive around, faster, DCT transmission, not an auto. Although that being said, the way I would want to spec a Corvette, it'd be like $75,000 to get the convertible and a couple other options and this and that, and the prices on those are going up, and you want mag ride and the nose lift and a few things. So 75 to 80 for the Corvette, I think really sorts it out and makes it fancier, much fancier than this. But I tell you what, I would much rather have one of these than a Lexus RCF, even though the RCF has an outstanding interior. It's just feels weird when you're driving it, and this just is way more planted, and I think the looks are better with this as well. Mustang versus Camaro, I can't really say. It's been a long time since I've driven a 1LE. They're also terrific cars. Should you get this or should you get the GT350 used after things settle down from this crazy year? I would say test drive them both and figure it out which one, you know, appeals to you just kind of viscerally more. But just as a Mustang, as the descendant of the Boss 302, the Mustang Mach 1 is absolutely amazing. I don't know if I get the handling pack because it's really low and I have curbs and all sorts of stuff. Oh, the one thing I think it needs, actually funny enough, is an Alcantara steering wheel. I really like that on my Boss. I really like that on the Shelbys. Overall, absolutely love this car. I'm a huge Mustang fan. I think it's a fantastic Mustang. I think it honors the Mach 1 name in a really credible way, but modernizes it. There's no shaker hood, and I don't care. So anyway, thank you so much to Ford for the loaner for this week. I'm going to try to hide it from you when you come to pick it up tomorrow. But I hope you all are well and safe. Please like, share, subscribe, do all those things, algorithms. I'm gonna put links down to our Facebook page and to our forums down below. So if you have any questions about the Mach 1, have you driven one, do you own a Shelby and you're thinking of trading, blah, 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 comment if you're watching this on YouTube. Comment on our forum thread. We'll have one of those as well, or our Facebook page. Thank you again for spending your time with me today. We will see you next time. Bye.
I love it! You're a fixer!
All right, ready?